So I didn't go yesterday because I don't know. And I'm late today. You stop it. Don't start right now. Just was late. And then I got into conversation with somebody and it prompted me to want to go live. So here I am. Let me invite some people. This is for sure a public video. You can go and share it with anybody you want. Invite some folk. And we will talk about what's happening in the world today. So I'm also live out on YouTube. So anyway, I haven't posted this yet, but I am going to post it out there. I just got done writing it. I don't know if it's going to make any sense, but so anyway, right on. I got to do that. I haven't done it yet, Kat. Yoga. Woo! So part of this journey on becoming unfucked is about being able to be open to what's going on around me. And it's looking at my own biases and how I react to certain individuals or stimuli. And I automatically have to think to myself, am I thrown into a negative perspective because of who's delivering the message to me? And I realized this morning that, yep, that's what I do. So all this talk about self-awareness and introspection is really important, especially if you're on an evolutionary journey. So I was in this conversation with someone today, and I realized that I thought that what they were telling me was something someone else had relayed to them. And because of who the person was, I right away went, well, what a dumb dick that person is. And it really wasn't the person that they were talking about. This person had actually wrote the message. And if I had seen it as it being from the person I thought it was from and not the person that I didn't like, I would have received the message differently. So I realized that I was not being very self-aware at that moment in time. So that sucks that I did it, and I don't like that I did it, and I feel kind of shitty that I did it. So why do we do that? Humans do a lot of shit out of fear, right? Most of that fear is born out of some kind of anger, not the other way around. So you're mostly scared, and then you get angry. You're not angry, and then you get scared. You're mostly already scared of what you're seeing. If we really get down to the crux of, let's say, racism, we realize that most folks are scared of people that don't look like them. So when I think about why that is, I realize it was a learned behavior. My parents scared me. Growing up, they told me black people were going to hurt me, rape me, steal from me. And I believed it because they're your parents, right? They're there to nurture and protect you. The reality of that situation is that I've been assaulted more times by white men. In fact, I don't think I've ever, with the exception of 1 or 2 times in my life, and I've been assaulted and had things done to me. I've been robbed by more white people than I have any black person or people in my life. So that's who you should be afraid of. That's why when you think of people like Ted Bundy, he was a really good-looking, educated white guy, and that's why broads weren't afraid to get in the car with him, because he's not going to hurt them, right? We really aren't doing anybody any kind of justice. The person that we're discriminating against, or the women or people that we're telling these are the types of people that you should be afraid of based on skin color. In fact, we're screwing people out of being able to be protective of their own personal safety when we give them these stupid ideas in their head that because somebody has a different color of skin than them, that's who they should be afraid of. And the reason why I believe that happened is because white European people didn't want, when things started to change and slavery was no longer an issue and black people were asking for their rights, and then all of a sudden now you've got women asking for their rights, they didn't want to lose what they perceived to be their ground, their stuff. They didn't want to lose their women. They didn't want to lose their jobs. They were afraid that somehow they weren't going to be able to have what they had before if all of a sudden you let everybody else have a piece of whatever they perceived as their pie. It's a big lie that we were fed that we live in a melting pot, because we really don't. It's what we tell everybody to make ourselves feel good, but we don't. We believe, and when I say we, I'm being general in the discussion of we believe that some of us are better and deserve more than others, and the government wants us to feel that way, because if we stay that way, then we won't look at who the real problem is, and that's our government, who is trying to keep everybody the way they do, because all of those people that are elected make a whole lot of money off of us being scared of each other and looking at each other like, if you're going to allow a black person or a woman or somebody who's just trying to escape a whole lot of violence into the country, then those people are the ones that are going to be the ones that are going to take from you. Like, we're going to get less. And that's not the truth. We give away more money to corporations and banks than we do to anybody else. And so if you really want to be fucked and you really want to see things change, then you have to realize that we're all human. It doesn't matter what color your skin is or what sex you are or how you identify as who you love sexually, whatever. It doesn't mean any of that. Hey, Kristen, it means we're all human beings. And when you die and you decompose down to your bones, you can't look at a skull and know what friggin' nationality that person was, what race they were. You don't know if they were gay or straight. It doesn't really matter. Everybody looks the same. And if you believe in any sort of a supreme being or a deity and you want to take away from what your God created, you're being a dick and you need to stop it. Pardon me. I think that our government realizes that if we just all of a sudden woke up as humans and looked at our neighbors and locked arms with them, we would have so much more power, and we would take back what belongs to us, which is the opportunities that we're missing because of the way that our government has drawn lines for voting, the way that they side with people that have way more money than we'll ever dream of having. There's no stepping up and pulling yourself up by the bootstraps anymore. You can't just work hard and make money, because if that were the case, people that are working 3 jobs wouldn't be struggling to keep a roof over their heads or be one $400 disaster away from losing their entire way of life. We have to remember that those kinds of things were the way things were maybe for our parents, for sure how my grandparents had it, because they came in when the Industrial Revolution was really just beginning. But black people fleeing all kinds of terrible atrocities, and women and any other marginalized group that you can come up with, they're not the people that are screwing you out of what you believe you should have. Our government is doing that. And they're doing that by keeping us arguing about really stupid things that we should have by now been so totally over and finished with that it wouldn't even be a thing. When you see people living in poverty and squalor, you should be first grateful that it's not you, and second, wondering, how do we fix that? How do we make equality for everybody? How do we give opportunity to people that have lived for their entire life, maybe generations, the same kind of opportunities that people in maybe richer areas have been able to enjoy? We got to stop wanting to figure out how we can take from other people or make sure they don't get something that other people already get, or think that you're going to get less of it because somebody else is going to get it. Can you imagine if you were taking your child, because let's just say that all of a sudden tomorrow there was tons and tons of warfare going on around us, or our government really lost its ever-loving mind, and suddenly you had to have vouchers to go to get your food, and you had to live 27 people to a 2-room house, or 10 people to a 2-room house, or the infrastructure was cut off because certain groups of people, they don't like the people that live in Hudson, so now we're going to turn off that infrastructure and we're going to make sure that you can't leave out of there. If you took your children and started walking for thousands of miles, your toddlers, and you had to cross deserts and rivers to get them across to those other places where you thought maybe your life might be just a tiny bit better, because at least there you maybe have the opportunity to get a job or medical care or education or whatever it is that these people are trying to find when they get here, or whatever some poor person in a ghetto in St. Petersburg, Florida is trying to get. whatever it is, if you were met at that border and you were so tired and they looked at you and they took your child out of your arms and you thought, I finally made it. And they said to you, turn around and go back to where you came from. And now we're going to take your kid. And you don't know if you're ever going to see that child again. If that was happening, you would be up in arms for yourself, your neighbor, your sister, your brother, yourself. And yet we look at these people who are trying to cross the Rio Grande and we think they're coming to take something from us. They're not trying to come and take anything from us. They're trying to escape atrocities and horrible conditions. And if you saw your neighbor, somebody posted this the other day, if you knew the house next door had no floors, it was concrete on there, and there was 15 under the age of 10 living in a house, and they were trying to take care of another 15 under the age or 10 or 5 under the age of 5 in there. And they were getting toothbrushes or toothpaste or soap or real blankets, or no one was holding them, or they had 104-degree temperature and we were denying them, they were getting denied medical care. You'd be okay with that? I mean, seriously, take a minute of your time in your nice, comfortable, air-conditioned house right now where your refrigerator is full of food. And even me with no insurance, I could go to the ER if I needed to. And I could get help right now if I really needed to. And you're going to tell me you're okay with that happening next door? Because it's happening. It's happening at our borders. And we're being lied to by our government. They're saying that those people are coming to kill us. They're not coming to kill us. They're coming to escape death. Those are little babies. Those are desperate freaking parents. If you're taking a road trip with a freaking kid in a car with a bag full of snacks and diapers and clothes and videos and movies and toys and stuff to keep them occupied, you know that's not a picnic. You're going to tell me that walking through the desert and crossing a river is a picnic? They're coming here to take what from you exactly? Our government is gerrymandering all day, every day. They're fighting against those redrawing of lines. They're fighting to stop other countries who have hostile interests in us and have interests in destabilizing the rest of the world, knowing that the United States has always been the people that have stopped that stuff from happening before, so that they can go in and take over things and destabilize the whole world. They're doing that stuff so that they can because they want to destabilize, because they want to change the way the United States has always been there to help people. They want to make us fight against ourselves and believe that our neighbors and people that are hurting so badly, are you telling me that you're going to look at somebody who's hurting and you're going to deny them help? It's ridiculous that we're sitting back going, well, you know, they shouldn't be coming. They should have known better. They should have done it legally. Really? Really, they should have done it legally? If somebody is trying to kill my son, and the only way that I can get him safety is to do something illegal to get him out of the country, you can bet your fucking ass I'm going to do that. And if you say that you wouldn't do that, then you're a shitty fucking parent. They're redrawing our district lines. They're trying to stop voter fraud. They're trying to stop government interference from other countries. They're trying to stop, they're rolling back EPA protections. They're rolling back protections on women and our sexual freedom and our physical freedom. We got a guy who's sitting in the office who's 10 times obstructed justice, been accused 22 times of sexual misconduct with women. And you're going to talk to me about Joe Biden putting his hands on somebody's shoulders? You're going to talk to me about that? Al Franken did something 30 years ago with another comedian on an airplane, and he walked away from his gig. This guy just announced that he's going to run for president again, and nobody sees anything wrong with it. If you have problems with who is coming into our countries, I submit to you that it's because you don't like the color of their skin and that you believe the lie that you've been fed. We were told from the beginning, as soon as Black people got out of slavery and were trying to make better lives for themselves, that those are the people that we should fear. And we had to fear them because white men were afraid that they were going to come and take their place. And it was never the way it was supposed to be. Humans are humans. Stop it. Just stop it. Ask yourself why until you get to the common denominator of why you are so freaking afraid of somebody trying to get a better life, to get some medicine, to get some food, to become a productive citizen. Ask yourself why. Because let me just tell you, the whole reason why we behave the way we do is because if you take it all the way back to the common denominator of when we got here, we stole the land, we killed the people, and we assimilated their culture. And then with the ones we left alive, we put in places where they could never get off of that land and ever make a better life for themselves. Only a precious few Native Americans escaped that fucking shit. The average age of a Native American man on a reservation right now is 40. And the reason why most of them are dead is because they kill themselves. People just want a better life. And if you don't understand that, living the way that we all have to live right now, because there's not one of us that's coming into my thread that lives in such a way that they are okay. Because if you have a lot of money and you're driving around in a nice car or whatever you're doing, it's an illusion. I'll guarantee you that most of these people that have all those things are just like everybody else, one paycheck away, because we all believe we should live beyond our means. But we have no problem sitting around saying, oh, that's an entry-level job, and that's why people make $7 an hour or $10 an hour or whatever it is we are paying people, while CEOs and corporations make millions and millions of dollars for doing nothing. Half the people don't even know how to run the fucking companies. If they had to go and do the job, they wouldn't be able to do it. And you think that's fair? Do you think it's fair that we should subsidize people at Walmart to be on food stamps and aid when the Walton family is so freaking rich? What about Johnson & Johnson? Do you think that all those people that have never worked a day in their life should have all that money? We talk about welfare queens. We talk about people trying to get help coming from different countries. And yet the people that run the biggest companies, that 1%, those are the ones that do nothing for the money that they get. Do you want to be pissed off at somebody? You should be pissed off at that. You should be pissed off at the lies that we're being told, that people don't want to work, that people are that marginalized, poor, and people of color are the ones that are trying to steal from you. That there are Christians right now that are saying that Donald Trump is a man of God, that LGBTQ people should be killed for how they love. If you believe that, then you have been suckered. I'm telling you, take a minute to run down the road and think about why you believe. Take it all the way down to that common denominator all by yourself. You don't have to tell it to me. You don't have to tell it to good spouse, to good mother, to good father. You need to tell it to yourself. Why do I feel that way? Why do I think that gay and transgender people deserve to be killed? Why do I think that a woman telling her story in such a believable fashion as Dr. Blasey Ford did shouldn't be believed, but a screaming, spitting, indignant man should have gotten the job of a Supreme Court justice? Why did we believe him, but we didn't believe her? Why is Donald Trump still running for president and Al Franken is sitting at home writing a memoir? What is going on that we don't believe the bad shit that's happening when we can just drive through the neighborhoods and see that there's no equality? There's no justice for all humans. Don't be afraid of what you don't understand. Don't tell stories that women haven't been marginalized, that they haven't gone through the atrocities that other races have. I believe that blacks, that women, and that gay people all should get reparations. I believe Native Americans should get reparations. I believe mothers and women that have stayed home like I did and gave up a career so that I could take care of grandparents and parents until they all died. I should get paid for that too. And I should get paid more than a CEO does because I did it for 24/7. I didn't get time off and holidays and weekends and paid vacations and have a summer house for doing the shit that I did. I did exactly what the Republican Party told me to do. And yet I don't have medical. I don't have an income. My teeth, my eyes, my bladder are all bad. Nobody gives a shit about me. When Donald Trump took office and decided he was going to fix the disaster that was Obamacare, he owned all three branches of government and couldn't get a fucking thing done. These people are lying to us. And you believe the lie. And you believe that you're better than somebody if you think that black people and people that are running for their fucking lives are trying to take something from you. And I suggest you better fucking think about why you're afraid and start to realize that nobody's here for your job. And that right now our country looks like a piece of shit. We're in violation of the Geneva Convention on so many fucking levels. We are running concentration camps at our borders. The Republicans that are in control are getting arrested all the time and getting in trouble for messing with little kids and messing with people of their own gender that are little kids. And yet you still want to believe that an unindicted co-conspirator who obstructed justice 10 times and tried to get other people. You know, if you watch that thing I put on my wall yesterday about the 10 times that Donald Trump obstructed justice, and then you go back and you listen to what Michael Cohen, his own attorney, said about him, Donald Trump never tells anybody to do anything. But when you read the transcript or you hear the transcript played out, you realize that that's exactly what he did. He didn't ever tell anybody what to do. He suggested how things needed to be done and insinuated that the people around him, his cabinet, needed to take care of it. And half of them said, no, I ain't going to do it. And I'm going to walk out of this thing. I'm walking out of this job. I'm walking away. He's a bad, bad, bad man. His family has discriminated against black people for their entire history on the planet. They were slumlords and they didn't want to rent to black people. He believes that he can grab women by the pussy. He is a white supremacist and he called other white supremacists fine fucking people. This is not who we are. We are better than this as a people. That's why in World War II, we went over and we freed those people at those camps, and we should be in the streets all the time, every day, for what's going on around us, lest we become like them. And believe me when I tell you, if we keep sitting in our comfy little houses in our AC with our refrigerators full of food and medical care just an ER away and marginalize people around us, one day, white as you might be sitting here listening to me, it's going to happen to you too. Are you awoke? Are you woken up yet? Are you going to wake up? Are you going to sit in your house and think to yourself, why do I feel this way? When you need blood, they don't look at the packet and say, this is a white person, so I got to give them white blood. They don't do that. We're all the same. We came out of the cradle of Africa together. Stop believing the bullshit. God doesn't want you to stone a gay person. God doesn't want you to mutilate a woman's fucking clitoris. God doesn't want you to marginalize people. God created all of us, every single last one of us. If that's what you believe, you better wake up before you get and stand in front of your creator and he looks at you or she looks at you and says, the fuck were you doing? Yang 2020 with freedom dividend will be everyone's reparations. This will compensate stay-at-home moms and dads. From your mouth to the God's ears, I really hope so. Marnette says they have food drives specifically for their employees. And I'm guessing you're saying that that's Walmart, and I believe that. Well, unfortunately, Marnette, he is our president. And the whole world is looking at us wondering how we lost our minds and how we're not doing anything to change what's happening around us and why we sit back and let it happen. And the only way that there's only one way to look at it. And listen, his base is only fucking 30%, guys. Only 30%. That's not how everybody feels. So if the other 70% of us actually stood up and started opening our mouths, maybe we would be allowed in a voice to silence the fucking bullshit. The stuff that happened at Amway in Orlando, I can't even believe how all of that went down and the way that those people were behaving. So anyway, yep, that's what I got to say today. And I don't know, share the video, tell your friends. I'm done. I'm done listening to women say women didn't have it that bad. Listen, in my lifetime, women weren't allowed to own property with their own money without their dad's or their parent or their husband's signatures because they were women. So don't tell me women didn't have it badly. Don't tell me that, you know, well, I didn't do it. I didn't own any slaves, so why do I have to pay for that? Fuck you. Amber says, this is necessary. It's time to stop being afraid and suppressed and to stand up for what we believe is right. No more fear. Keep speaking. Love you, Mommy. You're so right. I love you too, Amber. For real. And we're all humans. It's just one human fucking family. And together we are terrifying to the politicians. And we can take back our country and we can make it a level playing field for everybody. If we just realize that we're not each other's enemy, that the people we voted into office are. Erase your hate, take a minute to sit in your own little silence and think about why you're afraid. Think about it. And then run it down to its common denominator. And if you want me to help you work through it, I won't judge you for that. I won't judge you. Look I'm still working on it because today I believed that somebody else said something. And right away, because I believed it was that person saying it, I thought, fuck him, fuck that. And it wasn't him. I let something else color my vision. We all do it. So there's nothing to be angry about. The problem is when you don't change from that place and you stay stuck in that hate. Wake up. Wake up. Are you awake yet? Let's wake up. Love you guys.